and second, I'll move on to our substantives. All right, first, contextualization. So we are talking about, we are regretting under the government side, the narrative that exists in the society that pressures individuals, that one of the only ways, and possibly the only way to succeed in this life, right, whether it be in terms of career or not, is to get to education, to enter to tertiary education, right? Note that we're talking about the unexisting paradigm. We're not talking about something that will happen in the future. We're talking about unexisting alternative paradigm that would have happened if this was not true, right? So we're not trying to project the future. Rather, we're trying to reflect on the past decisions or reflect on what happened in the past, and then trying to focus on alternative paradigm that would exist under our side of the house, right? So once we are done with the contextualization, let's move on to our substantive arguments, right? First, I'm going to discuss the impact of this narrative on two levels. First, on individual, second, on societal. Individual, we believe that the very existence of this narrative in the society intoxicates the society and pressurizes the individual. Why this is particularly harmful? One, this harms and then this hinders the progress of individuals in self-actualization, which we believe is very important for individuals, right? Because individuals, this is what happens in the status quo. If you want to get apply to the university, like let's say one of the Ivy League universities, not only do you have to have good grades, right? But other than the grades, you have to focus on bunch of clubs and activities you might not be interested about, right? As a result, of the existence of the message that the primary way to succeed in this life is through education, people, instead of spending time on self-actualization and then focusing on things that they are really interested about, they are spending time on focusing that what requires from them the university, right? And then society is pressurized. So individuals, as a result, are pressurized by their parents and by society as a whole, right? And then they don't have full autonomy over their bodies, over their decisions, over their future, which we are ultimately standing against on the side of the house, right? Why? So people say, oh, all right, but no one is really legalizing this. No one is really forcing those individuals to go to this university, apply to this university, right? We understand it, but we believe in those young ages, when individuals are particularly impacted by society and by parents as a whole, we believe full autonomy is already in itself lost in those individuals, which we believe is particularly important for anyone to have that autonomy in the first place to begin with, right? Second, so because of the very existence of the message that one of the primary ways to enter the university guarantees you a successful future, individuals who cannot. So here's what happens, right? A lot of individuals apply to the colleges and universities. Some people enter, some people not, right? What happens to those people who could not enter? Those individuals become demotivated, right? So we could bring so those individuals, in most of the cases, we're not saying in all of the cases, happen to be people from poor background, right? Could be minorities, right? In those, what happens is those minorities who could not enter the university, which was something beyond their power because of the past, because of something they could not control because of their background, right? It was not that, it was something that was beyond their control, and that was something that they couldn't have control over, right? They couldn't enter because they didn't have the privilege that other people had, right? So again, we're not limiting this to minorities, but then if we are giving them as possible actors in this debate, right? Those people become even more marginalized in society and even more demotivated because there is a very existence of the message in the society that the way to succeed is through education, right? Those people who cannot enter, obviously, they still have the message. Message does not disappear at all, and then they become even more demotivated while they don't have to, right? They should pursue and go on. We believe this is completely harmful to have that message in our society, and it's extremely toxic to begin with. Moving on to societal level of analysis, right? It's not something that is narrowed down on individual level. Since society consists of each and every individual make up the society. If there is a message among the individuals that the only primary way and fastest way, and then one of the only ways to become successful is through entering the university, then people who could not enter the university, once they want to go on and move on, they face further hindrance and further harms in society.
Okay, in the world there is not so kind of the narrative, which is your paradigm. What would practically be an incentive which encourage people to go to university in the first place?
Okay, I'll engage with your argument in my first argumentation. All right. So those people who could not enter, they are even more harmed by the society because society tells them, okay, you did not. If they want to move on and land a job in some places, then society and people say, okay, you could not enter the university, right? You're not supposed to be here. I'll hire someone rather who could enter the university in the first place, right? This societal pressure further harms those individuals who could not enter the universities, right? Okay, I'll engage right now. So, sir, I'm going to focus on the purpose of education, and then I'm going to tell you, okay, we're talking about people who are particularly harmed by this narrative, right? People who want to go to the universities will still go under the both sects, right? We're talking about people who are particularly harmed because of the message and because it was not out of their own wills, right? People who can, who will, they will go either way. It's not mutually exclusive. But we're talking about people who are left out because of the message in the society. So let me move on. Purpose of education. Are youngsters in the status quo studying for the education or studying to enter the university, right? Because we believe that when we don't have the narrative, we achieve even more education in the society because people will be doing stuff that I'm interested in the first place, and then they will be devoting more time, investing more time and more effort, and becoming more knowledgeable and gaining more expertise in the sphere, while it doesn't happen on the other side. Because once they enter the university, it's over, right? And then up until that point, they study only what the university requires rather than the wholesome knowledge. And then, based on all that, so proud to propose. Thank you.
All right, thank the Prime Minister for the speech. I would like to invite the leader of opposition to hear.
Today's government has said that it's harming the individual first, but it's harming to the society as a whole. But we don't think so. It's not the university itself and its narrative itself improves the individual life itself or individual choice itself, but also we feel that it can contribute to the other whole society. That's why we're very happy to oppose. So mainly three things to talk about. So firstly, what is a narrative itself, and what is the meaning of university education? But secondly, let's look at the individual levels. It is good and not worth regretting in the first place. But thirdly, is about the societal benefit as a whole. But before that, further clarification to the side of the house. So firstly, they talked about us that some people are not going to the university by their will, etc., etc. But the question is here is that we still have the choice after they enter to the university itself, right? And we couldn't see how under their paradigm people can still find their dreams or their choice in the first place. Secondly, they talk about the gap between rich and poor, etc., etc. But we don't think that it's mutually exclusive, right? Because we see that under the status quo, like some quarter system is introduced based on the race or those kind of discrimination, etc. But we also have the system like scholarship, so that the poor people can graduate the schools, right? We think that their problem is not so important in this debate. So having said that, So first point about the what is the no thank you. What is the meaning of university education? We believe that the university education can provide more advanced technology for the students, for the people, right? For example, if the university is investigating some medical treatment so that they can cure the cancer, or they are researching about the electronic technology or IT so that our lives might be useful, right? And after students study about that, and after students graduate from the university, they can work at a laboratory or company so that their knowledge can be used as a whole society, right? We did not there is clear distinction between the high school education or compulsory education and the university education, right? Because of those high school or like compulsory education, the students have to learn even if they learn some subject, even though they do not want to. But the university education is a unique place where the students can choose what they want to do, right? Within those kind of things is very beneficial on that point. And what we support today of this narrative is that the people are generally recognize the status of the university, and people generally think that it is good to go into the university. Having said that, first issue about the benefit analysis about the individual level, why it is good. So basically, we think that the people have the right to study what they want. No, thank you. And if they want to study the law, or they want to study foreign affairs, history, or like mechanics, mathematics, etc., etc., right? And some people, or like some young people, should they know the importance of, and the importance of the researches, or importance of the studying itself. But some people do not know the importance of researching itself, or the importance of itself, how good it is, and how advanced it is, right? Advanced it is, right? For example, when some people says I'm researching about the history or some the ideas or something like that, the general people do not understand the importance of it, and the general people say that it is meaningless as a society, so you should do other things, right? So it means that under their paradigm, because there is no narrative about that, they just talking about those like the material of the researching or what they did, and it can harm to those kind of people's choice. But so because there is a narrative that the university education is a primary path to success, when the people say that I'm researching I'm researching history in the university, it means that since people think that it is previous or it is special, something special, the people can recognize and people can appreciate about this point, right? We think that based on this fact, individuals have the much more choice to do that what they want to do. We think that the society acceptance is much better compared to the side of the house. No, thank you. But secondly, it's about the whole benefit of for the society, right? We think that we can think that because the university education is the primary path to the success as a whole society. So like when the people have this narrative, that the people can have the incentive to go to the university, etc. Right? Yes.
How are you going to provide them freedom if those individuals from the very childhood are fed with information and narrative that education is the only way to succeed? How are they going to ever self-actualize if there is a narrative that exists?
Within not only within education is a place where the students can not only learn about the knowledge but also the other thing, right? They can know about the like occupation, or they cannot choose education by the other choices, etc. We think that this point is a good point for those kind of people. So moving back to our points, so why it is good to the whole society. So for example, students are recommended to go to the university even if they don't have any dreams, right? And after that, the university can provide higher education and students can learn it. Right? It means that as a whole, the people have the high knowledge and the people are the professional, right? For example, some people are getting an engineer, etc., etc. It means that as a whole society, those kind of professional, or those kind of engineer, or those who are the professional of that, can expand their the social benefit as a whole, right? They can contribute to the economic economic development, or they can contribute to the much higher useful lives. Within the as a whole society, it can provide the whole benefit, and within the as an individual level, and also the society level can provide the benefit by the guest narrative. So for all those reasons, we are very happy to oppose.
All right, as a leader of opposition for the speech, I would like to invite Deputy Prime Minister. You're here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we heard from the opposition side all the benefits of university can bring. We agree that university education is necessary, but in this case we are regretting a negative that is very harmful to society. In which extent? Okay, so they said that the mini university they provide the technology, medical treatment, and also after graduating work for company high school. Very crucial. Yes, we agree, but to this point, they are the narrative that is so prevalent in all the countries all over the world that force people to go to university without their will, without it does not reflect the and individual aspect. So okay, one respond to they said that okay they want to research history and all the medicals, all the fields that they are interested in, right? So we have, in a sense, we'll have media and also internet. They can have access to those sources, whatever they want, and how, in the way that they want, they still have access to those. So that is not mutually exclusive. And here, so we're protecting freedom of choice, right? People will still have freedom to do whatever they want. So who wants to go to university, they still have access to, they still have accessibility to go to university, even including the minorities. But here, we are saying that, so for those who are forced to go to university without, okay, so let's assume that they will go to university, achieve all the things that you said, that's so success. But eventually, in the middle of their life, they will have an existential crisis because they don't know what they want. They don't really know what they want to do. They are forced by society, forced by their parents to become the one that they don't actually want to do. They couldn't actualize themselves. Whatever they want to be, they deserve to become the one they want to be. And also, I will reinforcing my partner's point about okay, so how my partner has already told you about the society, how the society are pressurizing individuals to have to go to university. That is the primary path to achieve success, right? And how that can be harmful because they have no autonomy on the deciding the things that they want to do, and how can that can result in mental health issues, mental health illnesses. We all know that the suicide rate in those new countries, for example, South Korea, Japan, is very high because of those extremely stressful exams into university that they have to take without their willingness. Those people, they commit suicide, and the whole generation, the whole youth, they don't know what to do with their life because of all the pressure. They just don't have any chance to self-actualize themselves. That whoever they want to be, they should be encouraged. They should be able to become those they want to be, right? And okay, how this narrative is also very helpful to study under the so okay, I will bring another justification that we regret this narrative. So because of the whole society, the whole generation are forced to go to university under this they should study and get do whatever way, do whatever it takes to go to university, right? So that can result in unhealthy competition and cheating in the exams, especially in the developing countries. They have so the cheating in the exam is so prevalent. The whole education system is corrupted. It also cheating from the top. I would think it's kind of embarrassing to bring this in, but actually in the national entrance exam in Vietnam, we have cheating from the top. Even the privileged people, like the students of the high officials, the people working for environment, for the government, they ask the examiners to change their score, and those are the cheating. And we're producing a generation who just have the fake certificates without any real value. They just don't have any real knowledge to begin with. How can they serve the economy? How can they help the country if they have no real knowledge? Those fake certificates. The whole education system is corrupted from the top, ladies and gentlemen. And we're producing a generation of the future generation for the country who was dependent on cheating and just trying to get the way around the system, circumvent all the process. Okay, and next, I'll talk about how this narrative can result in the lack of labor force in those meta jobs and all the crafting industry. For example, okay, the meta jobs, they can about the crafting industry. So we have the traditions, like all the traditions. Okay, so we're tell you that this narrative is harmful to society. Why? Because it doesn't allow people to actually self-actualize themselves, and all the minorities, they're getting harmed by this narrative, and also the ramification resulted in big unhealthy education, unhealthy competition in education system, leading to the corruption and producing the whole generation of people who are unable to first self-actualize themselves and also have no real knowledge, and they couldn't serve the industry, couldn't serve the country because of that. That's what very proud to propose. Thank you.
Prime Minister for the speech. I would like to invite Deputy Leader of Opposition here.
I'm going to do in my speech. First, what is burden of proof in this debate? Second of all, the severe rebuttal against the point. And nextly, I will talk about further analysis about geographical context or other kinds of context. So going to the burden of proof. What is the burden of the government bench today? So the government side has to show you, in the world where there is not so kind of the narrative, what would be the practically be an incentive which encourage people to go to university? Why this point is important? First, in the first place, what is the role of the university? As my first partner talked about it, for example, the university is subsidized by the government, and which means that the university has, to some extent, has duty to provide the benefit to the citizen in the society. And the second of all, even if the only limited number of the scientists or the clever scientists will make a kind of the technology which provide benefit to the citizen, However, like enlightenment or kind of the providing a general level of knowledge to the citizen is very important in society because, for example, even in the developed nation, there is a kind of the problem which is caused by the lack of general knowledge. For example, the anti-vaccine movement, which says that vaccine has no power, so we shouldn't use the vaccine and kind of things. This kind of the problem is caused by the lack of general knowledge, and the university, to some extent, has a duty to improve the general level of knowledge in society. And like on this point, there was no response from the side house about what would practically be a factor.
Don't you think that institutions that should provide general knowledge which should be schools, which would not oppose under our side, rather than the universities? The university has a place for specific knowledge in any expertise.
Because I think that they are assuming that like the compulsory education and kind of things can provide general knowledge. However, the compulsory education means that everyone will, whether or not you like or whether or not you study, will automatically go to. However, talking about this kind of narrative, people have to make an effort in order to enter a new university, in order to success in the future, which enhance people to actually get the general knowledge on the university prior to entering university in the first place. So the narrative has a huge power and making a huge incentive which encourage people to study and to get general knowledge about many things. So several rebuttal against the argumentation. First, about the Prime Minister. Prime Minister's argumentation is based on the premise that high school students can know, all high school students know what should be their measure or what kind of the future they should go. However, I doubt this premise in the first place, right? Most students do not know what kind of job they will get in the future. Most students, for example, most students who enter into the university decide what kind of job they will do in the future while they are studying in the university in the first place. Their whole premise is that the high school students can understand what kind of job I should do or what kind of the science or technology I should study in the first place. So on this point, I'm going to provide two analyses here. First, just receiving the kind of the lecture from the professor in the university can inspire potential scientists or potential politicians who will contribute to society, right? Even if when you are the high school student, you do not know what kind of job you should do. However, just receiving the lecture from professor can incentivize you, can incentivize the potential the human resource which contribute to society. Second of all, even if it cannot cannot be inspired, just noticing that there are kind of diverse of the study, just understanding there is kind of diverse of study which contribute to society can improve the situation of the university. For example, this university is supported by subsidy through the citizen payment of tax. So in order to make the citizens will to pay the tax to the university, making citizens understand what kind of the diverse of the study exists, which contributes to society, can improve the situation of the university.
Okay, first of all, there is a market force like demand and supply. I'm sure government will figure it out. Second of all, we think that on your side, they are even less likely to realize what they want because of the pressure in the society that I explained in my speech.
Okay, I will mainly talk about it later. However, firstly, even if the citizens are forced to pay the tax, however, the government has a duty to make citizens understand and realize that their payment of tax can be justified in the first place, as the role of the social engineering. So second, even if it can be in a moratorium time of the student, getting time to think about their future with classmates can be a precious time for individual lives. Because without entering the university, after graduating from the high school or junior high school, you will certainly have to get a job. However, by entering the university, you will have the time to think about the future in the first place. because in the first place, high school, most students do not know what kind of job they will enter in the first place. So second of all, they said that it is out of will, so it cannot be justified. However, in order to incentivize people to engage in study or using other factors, in order to incentivize people to engage in study, other factor or out of will can be justified in the first place. I'm going to give you an example. For example, in developing nation, for example, United Nations is building a school in developing nation, and the United Nations officer say children that this is without going to school, you cannot get food. United Nations officer will provide enough food in school. So it is not purely kind of the incentive to study. However, other factor, for example, getting enough food, can be justified in order to incentivize people to engage in study. So finally, about the geographical context, in developed nation where there is much resources, it can there are need to improve the technology provided by the university. So incentivize potential scientists or potential politicians is really needed. Even in developing nation, it is really needed to enhance people to engage in study and improve the general knowledge level in order to provide healthier public security. So we are very proud to propose. Thank you.
Alright, for that speech, I would like to invite a member of government to start the House debate.
Now we focus on the individual choice of whether the dominant narratives influence the individual choice or not. But one missing in the opening debate is the economic aspect of the university education. So as a closing argument, we focus on the economic aspect of if the dominant narrative exists, how it influences the economic aspect and also the perspective from the developing countries. So I'm going to talk about two things in my speech. The first is the dominant narratives of university education rather intensify the economic gap between the rich and the poor. And secondly, from the perspective of the developing countries, if the dominant narrative exists, this narrative rather intensify the power imbalance between the developed country and the developing countries. So, and before moving to this point, I'd like to clarify one thing. So, what is the meaning of success? The opening proposition talks about the meaning of the university education is the unique ways to the success. But actually, what is the success depends on the self-actualization of the people. So it depends on the people and it's valid. Therefore, we cannot say the university education is not only way to achieve the success. Okay. So all regards is integrated. So firstly, the dominant narratives of the university education rather intensify the economic gap between the rich and poor. And several analyses here. The firstly, the very important. University education is a very costful. For example, in the United States, it takes 40,000 or 50,000 US dollars as a tuition. It's highly expensive and it takes so much money. And poor people cannot go to the university. So university education is only for the rich and the middle class people. So it's not for the poor people. And secondly, because of this, the dominant narratives, the poor people are suffer from to going to the university. So actually, they want to go to the university, but they can't. So they are marginalized in the society and more. And thirdly, the OO says there are some subsidies and scholarships or something. But I have several responses here. The firstly, even if government subsidies in the university or government provide some funding and scholarship, firstly, the number of scholarship and funding is very, very limited. So only very, very limited people get this scholarship. It's not for the poor people and not for the society as a whole. And secondly, even if some people get scholarship, but to get scholarship, we need a good grade. For example, if I get the university scholarship, then we need the good grade in the junior high school and high school. So the poor people sometimes it's difficult to get high school in the junior high school and schools because they have to they face the difficulties to get the textbook and they can't go to the class school. Therefore, sometimes for the poor people, they are difficult to get good scores in the schools. And fourthly, the counterfactors. And all strongly says the university education provides the many measures and the research textbook in the university. But actually, especially in nowadays, it is completely not mutually exclusive because even if there's no dominant narrative, that some people go to the university and some people go to the research. And moreover, and we get these knowledge and skills, and even if we don't go to the university. For example, if we go to the technical school and business school and special schools, then we get the skills and knowledge. And also even from the internet, that we get these skills and knowledge. Yes, please.
So if your point that only the rich can have access to university, can you justify letting such structural imbalance exist forever in your paradigm?
Because from now I'll explain. So university education is not unique because we get these knowledge and skills even if we don't go to the university. So if poor people cannot go to the university and poor people are going to the working place or going to the special school and going to the vocational school and they can achieve self-actualization and they can get skills and knowledge what they want. And so the university education is not unique. And so the first thing about the Edison and Steve Jobs and any IT engineer and IT genius, they are not necessarily going to the university and they are not necessarily the graduate universities. And actually they don't have to they don't have to go there. And even though because of the dominant narrative, they are forced to go to the university and poor people cannot go, so that they are marginalized. But if there is no dominant narrative, they go to the technical school and working class and find out their specialty. So these dominant narratives, they just intentionally the poor is marginalized. And also about the uniqueness of the university education, the thing about the Google and Facebook and Apple and Amazon, nowadays the innovation and technology is developed and created in the private sector rather than academic sector. So also the university is the front runner of these technologies, but actually the university is no longer front runner of these technology and innovation. The university is a not unique position to success. And also they said university lectures stimulate and influence the policy or something, but actually it's unrealistic. The first thing about the President Trump and Prime Minister Abe, do you believe they really study in the university or they are really influenced in the university lectures? Actually, the impact of the university education is very, very little. And so actually, the impact of the university education is very limited in the society. And also, they think about, they said in the university education terms that they think about the future or something, but actually it's also not mutually exclusive because they can think that these features in the high school or something. And finally, I quickly explain the developing countries one. So as I said, the university education is a costful. Therefore, in people in the developing country, they are very difficult to go to the university. And also the university enrollment rate is very low in the developing country. Therefore, because of these narratives, they rather intensify the power imbalance between the developed country and the developing country. So, and certainly some elite go to the university, especially United States and United Kingdom. But because of these dominant narratives, in the developing country, the elite dominant, the minority and the vulnerable people is rather intensified. So in this situation, even also in the developing countries, these vulnerable people and poor people and also marginalized and more. Therefore, for those narratives, we all regret these narratives. So we strongly propose this motion.
This is member of government for the speech. I would like to invite a member of opposition. Yes.
have told us like why this narrative is good for society and bad for society, maybe, I think. But I actually don't get why that like society stuff is much more important than the individual's impact. But okay. Let me first talk about the OG and the CG. The OG was like mainly have I think 2 points. First about like self-actualization, and second about like cheating and like maybe a little bit of labor first. I don't actually get, but let me have some rebuttals. About the first about self-actualization, they said that by not having narrative, people will freely choose, but like there's no such thing as a completely free choice. What we want to do is really based on what like our environment is like. When we have a mother and a father who really love baseball, like the children will like do baseball, and children who have ballerina mothers will be a ballerina. So we think that there's no such thing as a completely free choice, and we don't get why this narrative is like that like particularly bad. And also we believe that like people can also self-actualize by getting in university, because in university people can do like a lot of things they really want to do. Like if you love programming, you can go to a programming course. If you like science, you can go to a science course. You can actually do it more professionally and that kind of stuff. And by because university have the general education and people can actually find out what they really want to do by actually just entering university. But by not having this narrative, even when people have something they really want to do, like there is no narrative to go to university. So like as they said, yeah, university is costly. So it is really possible that those children who like want to go to university but not that rich won't go to university, and they will not be able to like further study about their profession, what they really want to do. And actually those who don't have something they really want to do, they won't have that like opportunity to hop into university and actually find out what they were really good at. We think that's rather bad. And also about like cheating, first of all, it's a very minor case, and second of all, cheating actually really is a normal thing when there is something a lot of people want. Like cheating also happens in Olympic games and that kind of stuff. So we think that that's not a big case. Then about CG, the CG's biggest case was about like GAT and that kind of stuff. Like those poor people can't go to university, but like doing other without this narrative, those people who don't go to university might like, if they want like baseball or ice skating, they may like try to do that really hard. But like actually those kind of stuff also cost a lot of money. Only the rich can do it. They have a ton of advantage, and like university doesn't cost that much as those kind of stuff. Like going to a public university like Todai, Tokyo University, and that kind of stuff, that doesn't cost that much. Also, the poor can actually go here. So we don't think like those kind of gaps will be big. No, sorry, down. Will be bigger. And also, they never actually showed why this gap will be little by taking this motion. They actually have to show this point. And about developing country and developed country, I didn't know what they really wanted to say. But like actually, they never showed why this is. By not having this narrative, those developing country people will be employed by those developed countries. They actually never said anything about this. Sorry, no. Then let me move on to our argument. First, let me explain how people naturally react. First of all, people really jump to something, jump to a benefit that's really near. So when there's not like when you go to university, like you will have to spend like 4 or 6 years like not getting money. But when you don't go to university, you just like jump into a company and earn money instantly. When people see this, people are really likely to jump into that like really benefit just laying near you. So, and also people get like influence from their mothers and fathers. When your mothers and fathers are highly educated, they want their children to go to university, that children will highly go to university. And when that mother and father don't love education, that children don't love education. So that's how people will act. And let me explain what kind of people will actually go to university by taking this fund. We believe that it will be limited to the high educated, rich family who actually really knows why education is that important and why people need education to actually like have professional knowledge and actually use that to earn money. It will be limited to those kind of people. But actually for those kind of poor, not maybe always poor, but like those children from a family who doesn't think education is that important or didn't benefit from education, in that family, that children will really less likely to go to a university. So this will rather widen the gap between the rich and the poor, because the rich people will go to university, and when you want to be hired in a very big company which requires you tons of skills, you actually need that kind of skills and get those in universities. So those super rich, high educated children will only go to those good, high knowledge required company, and those poor children or not educated children won't have that much of a chance to get those kind of jobs, because they actually require you to actually have the skills of programming or science knowledge or that kind of stuff. So this is like not only bad for like individuals, but also for the society. The rich being more rich and the poor being more poor is clearly bad. The government is trying to solve this point, and if the university has to do something for society as the opening of a science, we actually don't know. But like even when that's true, like widening the gap is really bad for the society itself, and actually for those poor, not highly educated children to lose their chance to first recognize what they want to do, and second of all, further deepen their knowledge. We strongly believe that we shouldn't take this from. Thank you.
For opposition to the speech, I would like to invite Rambo.
Speaker, it is ironic that Kyushu University professor and I, who have been an educator for decades, is talking about this. And this motion, yes, we do value the education. Yes, we know the importance of the higher education. However, we oppose a narrative that university is the path to success. So what is a success? I'd like to talk about three things in my speech. First, the disparity of rich and poor widens. Secondly, I'd like to talk about why the narrative of this motion is harmful to the society and the individuals. And third, I'd like to talk about the practical harm, and all my rebuttals are included in my speech. So, firstly, as my honorable partner has been talking about, the disparity of rich and poor widens. Okay? Rich gets richer and the poor gets poorer. Why is that? Firstly, those poor people don't have the access to other extra curriculums, and so those people who are rich can send their children to cram schools and to advance, or they can send them to the private schools to advance, and they have a jump start to begin with. And then, so therefore, those rich people can have an easier access to the university education. And also, the opposition side, opening opposition said that there's a scholarship, so don't worry about it. So firstly, as I said, in order to make it to the education university, there's a huge gap there in terms of their education to begin with. And secondly, borrowing the scholarship is actually hard. Why is that? Because, no thank you, because that borrowing the scholarship means extra work for them, and there's a pressure for children. And the children feel that in order to borrow the scholarship, they have to be the top of the class. They have to exceed everything they have to be the perfect person in order to be the #1 person to get the scholarship. And in the process, they have a lot of harm and the mental pressure to children, and that's detrimental for children. So that's not good. And okay.
We do agree that it is advantage for the rich, but there are tons of people who go to public high schools and actually go to our Tokyo University.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
I agree. And those people who want to study, they should study. And those people who don't have are not fortunate enough to have a lot of money, they can still realize their dreams by studying hard and borrowing the money. And we're not against that at all. Okay, so we're just talking about the harm of the narrative. Okay, so we talked about those mental pressures of children, and because of the narrative. And as my honorable partner has talked about, and this is the extension from our point, it's very important that those people, if there's a narrative that the university is the only way to be successful, then those people who are in developing countries or those people who are basically poor, they don't have an access to a higher education. And why is that important? Why is that harmful? Because this narrative keeps them unsuccessful. What does it mean? They are marginalized forever because they don't go to university. Therefore, they are not successful. That's very important. That's coming from our side of the closing government. So if there's no narrative, there are various ways to success. Okay? They don't have to go to university. They go to the technical schools, they can go to vocational schools, they can do all sorts of schools to obtain skills and knowledge. And if there's no narrative, developing countries pursue other way. People in the developing countries can pursue other ways during self-actualization, and they can do what they want. So that's very important. That's coming from our side. Okay, so second point I'd like to talk about is why this narrative that you have to go to university to be successful is harmful. Okay, so this is also the unique point that comes from our side. And we're the only people talking about this. Okay, so the narrative means that narrative becomes a social norm. So the only way to become successful is to go to university. So what does that mean? For example, mothers pressurize children that you have to go to university. Mothers talk about which school you should go to and which cram schools you should send your kids to in order to be successful. And because of this social norm, people will try to send their kids to certain places to become successful. So the closing opposition is talking about education is not important, and then they were saying that everyone thinks university is important. So by having this narrative, but rich and poor disparity, it has nothing to do with it. So we don't think this has their point stands. And so there are a lot of people who don't go to university and they become successful, such as musicians, artists, and athletes. And the important thing here, why is this harmful, is that because if people don't go to university, they feel like a failure, and they can never feel that they are successful. That's very important point that comes from outside. And so finally, I'd like to talk about practical harm. So the opening government did a good job talking about all the harm that we talked about that happened. But we'd like to emphasize this narrative is creating the problem. What is success? Success is not measured by the monetary gain or the having certain positions. People can feel successful in their own measure. Pressurizing children by giving them a framework of success is harmful. Therefore, we're happy to propose. Thank you.
Alright, I think that will be it for the speech. I would like to invite opposition whip to end this debate here.
We believe that this debate should be about which product is better for individuals. Simply because university is a place to educate individual, like highly educated individual for their future. We think that like society thing is only a kind of additional like factor for that. So on the point, like we think that for individual level, we are only team that elaborate enough to oppose this motion. So we think that on the point, we think that we should only give this debate, but unfortunately this debate is taking place also about society level. So I'm gonna summarize this debate from two perspectives. First one is the society level, like each team was talking, and secondly about individual level. So let me go one by one. So first of all, about society level. Opening comment say like cheating and lack of labor stuff. We think that we never see like why that is enough to like first of all like those arguments are already adapted by my partner, and also we never see why it is connected to this motion. So we think that OG on that point is not so strong. And about let me go OO. So OO was saying in thank you, sorry. I would say like that narrative will result in like being professors gay or something like that. We think that they kind of show us in their specific context of developing countries, maybe that may be important, but we think that our argument, I'm going to explain later, is stronger than that. On that point, CC was talking about the economic process and rich and poor thing. And first of all, we never see from their side of the house why the rich and poor gap was so bad. That was, my partner was so clearly telling you that is simply against government law to helping those vulnerable in society. We think that lack of that point like simply destroy their own argument itself. And also in their part, they never talked about how those gaps can be solved, or they think that continuous of states goes better or something like that. So before moving on to our own thing, yes.
My partner mentioned specifically that people, because of the narrative, will be looking down on those in the manual blue-collar jobs. That's why we will have problems in the manual jobs. But other than that, the extreme pressure pressed by parents and society will nurture a culture of youngsters who will learn to get away from this, get
But it's the point of individual level, so I'm going to explain it, don't worry. And so about our point. So my partner clearly told you that rich can send their children to university education even if that there is no narrative. But because poor is not interested in those kind of issues and also pressurized from parents to get money in front of you is much stronger than those rich people. So if there's no narrative in the world, only rich people can send those their children to the university, and maybe they will result in getting better job and will be rich again or something like that. And on the other hand, poor cannot do that. So we think that if there's no narrative, the gap between rich and poor will be even wider in that part. On the other hand, if there's narrative that narrative, because first of all, CG was talking poor cannot go that, but we think that that is not so true because there's many. First of all, some universities not so high tuition, and also because they are so highly incentivized by this narrative, they will be making much effort to get maybe scholarship or something like that. Even if it is difficult for them to get into university, we think that that is much better, much worse than our program in that where people at least are interested in going university and that kind of stuff, because some people will go there even in poor. So maybe moving on to second point, individual level. So we think that on that point, both governments team was talking about self-actualization is important, but we never see what is self-actualization in the first place, because we clearly told you that when they go into university, maybe people cannot see what they want to do that, or maybe at university they can find that what they want to do. And the difference between always kind of rebuttal about that point is that we add the factor of they actually found new thing, and that is decrease the number of their thing. And no, thank you. And also they never talk about how they will be self-actualized better in Japan, because in any ways self-actualize take some cost. For example, if you want to be figure skater or something, you will take much money, especially when they are trying to protect poor people. We think that is not so big difference. On the other hand, so about OO, they are trying to rebut about self-actualizing, but they only argument come from opening opportunities auto wielding. They only gave us on the analogy and there is no logic, so we think that there is no relevant in this phase. So what we told you about this point is that
rather forced choice will be happy because their parents pressurize to get job for money in front of you. We think that that pressure is much stronger than that because of narrative, because that is actual benefit in front of you, not like mere like future possibility of benefit. We think, especially when like poor people desperate to get money, we think that in terms of number, we think better choice or those who are disturbed their choice will be worse in their side of the house. We think because of those points, we think we should take this thing. Thank you.
Okay.